Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining this session with us. I'm Samir. I'm the Director for Partner Marketing at Freshworks globally. And along with me is Nick from Software One. Nick?
Hi, everyone. Nick Richards. I'm the General Manager of Customer Experience and Contact Centers at Software One. Software One is a global AWS partner, integrator, support operation.
Yeah. And the beauty about, the topic for today is right size software, right? And I think, proudly speaking, both of us are like, Freshwork was named as the Partner of the Year last year, 2022, and we were the finalist as well this year. So obviously, one of the top leading providers of software and software application, which is Software One, and Nick represents that, and I represent Freshworks as well, right? Before I get into, the session is 20 minutes. Before I get into what Freshworks offer and how Software One has been able to leverage Freshwork, I have a quick question. I saw Rubel already started distributing the hydration bag, but it's about F1. I'm not sure that if all of you actually are an F1 enthusiast or if you watch F1. I mean, I heard that Vegas had the F1 racing a few days back, like a week back or so. Does anybody know what is the record, world record for the shortest pit stop? Anybody knows? Any guesses? Sorry? 8 seconds? All right, that's a good guess. Anyone else? 4 seconds, pit stop. Usually they change 1 or 2 tires and they refill. 10 seconds? 1-9? Less than 10? Less than 1? Okay, less than 1. That's like, less than 1 second is like, let me just give the answer because we've just got like 20 minutes. So the answer is 1.8 seconds. That's the world record for the shortest pit stop. And the world record was created this year in Qatar by the McLaren team, basically. And Vegas, which had the F1 race, last week, the shortest pit stop was 1.99 seconds or 1.98 seconds. That was the shortest pit stop. Now, obviously, why am I referring about pit stop? The whole idea about talking about pit stop is to increase or to create excellence. And that is exactly what we talk about, right? Now, quickly, if you know about Freshworks, great. Otherwise, I'm just going to talk a quick, a quick moment about Freshworks. We were created in, we were founded in 2010. So we are into our 13th year of existence. We went public in 2021. About $580 million of revenue. We are closing into about 600 million, and we will be treading a journey of about $1 billion in a couple of years. We've got about 5,000 employees, and we have won multiple recognitions to our credit, right? I just spoke about, like, we were the Partner of the Year in one of the categories for AWS last year. All right, so we are deeply entrenched with AWS, and I would request Nick to kind of talk about how Freshworks and Software One are basically entrenched in AWS.
Yeah, so absolutely. So this is an interesting alignment between Freshworks and Amazon Connect in particular, right? So you have Freshworks as the platform, Amazon Connect as the contact center. As you look at the benefits, with each of these, you get to grow when you need to. If you have a seasonal event, if you have a major influx, then you can grow and scale. Similarly, in slow seasons, you can scale back, right? But the key there is that you can do it very rapidly as you need to. Secondly, you're able to work with deep integration. So you're able to get collective intelligence from multiple systems, bring that in to help with the contextual experience, to help provide a more personalized experience for your customer, and to improve the overall efficiency of your folks as well. All right, and then we're able to deliver all this through simplified procurement, right? We're able to procure software and services through the AWS Marketplace, which minimizes many of the procurement hurdles, the bids, those sorts of things, and helps you to purchase through an established channel more quickly and easily.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. All right, today's expectation basically, right? I mean, when we talk about right size softwares, right, the expectation, of the software is basically, you can look at, if you're a customer, for example, right, you need the software to be fast. You need the software to be easy to integrate as well. Obviously, no prizes for guessing, cost effectiveness, operational efficiency are important as well. And of course, the software has to be reliable, right? So we at Freshworks, and obviously with Software One, believe in software that works for you, right? Now, when I say that works for you, what do I mean, right? You could be a customer, or you could potentially be a B2C company who really cares about reaching out to the customers, or how do you delight your customers, right? And if you care about delighting your customers, you need to really talk to us at Freshworks. Or even if you don't care, I mean, obviously you will care about customers, but even if you come to me and say, hey, the targeting for my customers, the way I'm reaching out to the customers is sorted. We have softwares that help delight your own employees as well. So if you all are from the IT department, I think you need to be even more. If you're from development or IT, I mean, you should hear the softwares that we actually create. This is in short, basically what we really, the bundle of softwares essentially that we have. Now, starting from here, right, customer service, and Nick will also talk a little bit about how the overall expansion of customer service is. But we have Freshdesk. You will also hear, if you go to our webpage, Customer Service Suite. Basically, now, if you stay at customer service, right, and quickly speaking, there is a journey, there has been an evolution, right? At one point in time, we had brick and mortar companies, right? In which one relationship manager or one person would talk to you from sales to marketing to servicing. And then the internet age came, and then obviously, the whole boundaries of operation, or as we call as TAM, right, for most of the companies actually broke. I can sit in Chennai, I can sit in Bangalore, I can sit in San Mateo, I can sit in London, and I can basically sell to prospects in South Africa, right? The whole boundary actually broke. Now, what happened as a result of it was marketing started having its own software, right? Your marketing needs marketing automation software, XYZ, right? Sales started having its own software, right? Because you need to have CRM hygiene. Operations started having its own software, and servicing, or as you call it, support started having its own software. So the complexity increased. Now, if this wasn't enough, personalization came in, right? Now, everybody has mobile these days. All of us actually have mobiles in our hands, right? So, you need personalized content. You need content when you actually want to consume it. So the complexity has actually increased. We have Freshdesk, essentially, that is AI enabled. No prizes for guessing. You will hear a lot about, if you talk to anyone from Freshworks, you will hear a lot about Freddy. That's our patented AI application, Freddy AI. We talk about how do we basically, how do we automate the reach or journey towards your customers, right? How do we make it easy for you and create a better experience for the customers? And how do you do that? One is making it self-serve, so the customers can basically interact with you without you having to allocate anybody. That's self-serve, right? Number two is you need to help your agents. So if you are a company who is servicing clients or customers, you would also have remote agents, right? Now you want to create an operational efficiency without actually involving humans or remote agents every time, right? So that is the second part. And third part is for the leaderships. As leadership, you want to create insights and reports for better decision making, right? So basically, Freshdesk essentially talks about that. We also have on the extreme left-hand side, Freshservice. And that is exactly what I spoke about, right? You're creating a delight for customers. That is Freshdesk. You want to create delight for Employees, that is Freshservice, especially if you're in the IT department and you get tickets, right? I mean, you get incident raising, you get tickets, etc. You have problems of your own, right? Now, this is a software which is basically accumulates asset management, service management, operations management, all of it together, and that's actually Freshservice. And in the middle, we also have our CRM, which is Fresh Sales and Fresh Marketeer, built on the Neo platform. So if you are a developer here, Neo platform is a platform where a lot of our developers, partner developers and individual developers have been developing their applications and hosting their applications in our Freshworks marketplace. Okay. All right, and some of the customers that we have, a lot of them have actually stalls or booths here. So, and yeah, Nick, why don't you take it forward?
Yeah, thank you. So we're seeing a number of big trends in the contact centers today, right? And things that used to be kind of longer term strategic targets are now becoming table stakes for a modern contact center, right? So contact centers can be applied, as we know, in sales, customer service, internal help desk, whatever capacity. Some of those capabilities that are really important are first integrations. So integrating with data repositories, with CRMs, with ITSMs. If you're not doing this as part of your contact center upgrade or migration, you're missing a significant opportunity for improvement. Second, I don't know if you all have heard about this new technology called Gen AI. I've heard the term a couple times this week already. Everywhere you turn. That's being leveraged in call centers everywhere you look, right? It's a common use case where everything we do is infused with AI and ML. That as well has become table stakes. Third, with that, and as you're doing those two things right, you get that real-time assistance for your agent's employees, right? Okay, and then beyond that, we're starting to get a lot of insights, okay? And what you see is that there's kind of multiple phases of the evolution of integration, particularly with your ITSMs. That first phase, you'll get a screen pop. So as a call comes in, or a chat, or email, whatever it is, you can pop with some information about the customer or their case. Well, this is a relatively low lift, but immediately gives you improved handle times, decreased handle times, because the agent is not spending as much time looking for the information. They have a better contextual awareness of where that person is, and they're able to resolve their query more quickly. The second phase, and the one really where you get the most bang for your buck, is where you start providing the API integrations within that IVR, right up front, within your web page, within your mobile apps. You start doing data dips for self-service, and then we start recording, transcribing our calls, analyzing them for insights. And then we push that data into our ITSM platform, and an interesting flywheel starts to happen. Okay, so we've introduced that integration right up front. We're allowing some people to self-serve, resolve their queries themselves. Okay. Second, as that contact goes to an agent, we're providing the agent with more information, more helpful information. They're not only resolving that issue more quickly, but they're also providing more comprehensive, more effective, and accurate information that prevents a subsequent call and improves our true first call resolution rates. And then, because we're recording and transcribing those calls, we're pushing that into our systems of record. We're analyzing those for trends. So we're finding new opportunities for automation. We see that, okay, we contain a certain number of our interactions using bots, using IVR or whatever else. Okay, so here are some other common use cases. Let's go very strategically targeted. Let's go automate those. Okay, through that, then we can start changing the scripts or the behavior of our agents and employees. We get new insights, flywheel continues. Okay, and so what we've seen with a few customers is that looking at that kind of the ITSM, the help desks are often kind of the tip of the spear for the organization. It's usually the first place that we can start introducing these modern contact center technologies, and it's perceived as lower risk, but everyone's benefiting from it within the organization. Okay, with one of our customers, they were able to, within the first month, okay, they did an integration with Connect and their ITSM, and what they found within the first month was a 40% decrease. They had no clue what to expect. This was a very simple effort, and they found a 40% decrease in the handle times from offering screen pops and identifying that customer while they're in the IVR instead of making the agent capture all that information. Okay. They also found that they, with just 5 use cases, very simple ones, they had a 30% decrease in call volume. So 30% containment, just kind of blindly, without any curation of this, which reduced the total call volumes into the call center. It reduced the wait times for that. And what they then found was that they were getting the insights of the prevalence of certain issues, error codes, and user groups that were having common challenges. They went back and started adding more information in the form of bots, more FAQs, more automations, and they started that flywheel. All right. So that organization then took those technologies and capabilities and expanded it within the broader organization, and everyone was able to benefit. The service lines were able to benefit, the product lines were. Okay. So what we're seeing is that as a result, you're able to really have your cake and eat it too. You're able to deliver a better experience for your customers, a better experience for your agents, and you're able to do that at a lower operational cost. Okay. Do we have any questions from the team on any specific use cases or any opportunities?
Yeah, and we have the booth as well in the AWS Marketplace area. So you're more than welcome to come and visit us as well. Have a chat. We're more than welcome.
Excellent. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. All right. Thanks, Nick and Samir.